Alright, welcome to Lesson 2 of U.S. History. In Lesson 1, we studied the Bering Land Bridge and the Ice Age and how most scientists and historians think that people arrived in America. It's not proven, but it's the most popular theory. In Lesson 2 today, we're looking at what happened to those people once they arrived. For the most part, they traveled and they were hunters and gatherers, and they traveled and followed the animals, and they followed the animals all over North and South America. However, about 10,000 years ago, the ice melted and the Ice Age ended. When that happened, the ocean levels rose, and the Bering Land Bridge became the Bering Strait, covered by water. And the people were isolated from the rest of the world. This new environment allowed this new warmer, wetter environment allowed for many more plants to grow, thus many more animals and insects and birds and all the different species to thrive more. Unfortunately, some of the larger mammals did die out, like woolly mammoths and saber-toothed tigers. However, humans began to thrive, particularly in the Americas, as the populations grew. And this new environment that was warmer, wetter, and full of more life gave people for the first time a little bit of extra time and energy instead of just trying to survive, find the next meal. And when that happened, people began to develop tradition, storytelling, language, art, and those elements combined are what we call culture. So this is the first start of true American, North American culture. And the culture will develop differently than the rest of the world because we're isolated. The oceans were between North America and Asia, North America and Europe, and South, North and South America from Europe and Asia. So the culture will develop in a distinct and different way. The first major civilization in the Americas were the Olmec. The Olmec lived in 12,000 BC, around that time. They were the first advanced civilization. They developed their own language system. They were able to make stone-type buildings and temples. They did some stone-type sculptures as well. And because they were so advanced, they influenced the people around them, and their culture spread throughout southern Mexico. Now you can see some of the temples and the stonework that they were able to do. And here you can see some of the artwork that they did. They did these to honor their ancestors and God. A more advanced civilization that came a little bit later was the Maya or Mayans. The Mayans lived in small cities, 2,000-3,000 people large cities, which are very large at the time, but small by today's standards. They were able to build more advanced temples and pyramids. They were advanced at math and astronomy. They understood how the stars moved. They formed their own famous calendar that ended in 2012. And for the most part, a lot of their astronomy and their math and their calendar was very accurate. And so they were very, very advanced for their time. And, it's funny that the calendar ended in 2012. We're not really sure why it did that. Were they off, or did they end it for some other reason? Clearly it wasn't the end of the world. But, as scientists and historians continue to look at this calendar, there are some new theories that maybe the Mayan calendar was actually the start of a new cycle for mankind, a new advancement for mankind. So that's just a theory. But it would explain why the calendar ended at that point. So we're not really sure. It's bottom line. Another thing that's mysterious about the Mayans is that around 900 AD they just disappeared. And again, we're not sure why. Was it a natural disaster? A hurricane, an earthquake, a volcano eruption? Was it a disease that wiped them out? Did their government just simply collapse and they went back into the forest? Were they taken over by someone else? We really don't know. We just know their cities were abandoned. So a lot of mystery surrounding the Mayans, but also a lot of advanced science and technology with that group. A further, more advanced group is the Aztecs. The Aztecs developed a little farther north in Mexico, and they were known for their large temples. They were known for their capital city, Tenochtitlan, which is one of the largest, which was the largest city in the world at its time. Many thousands of people living there. They again had similar math and astronomy as the Mayans, but they were more warrior-type people. They were focused on conquering others, making them into slaves and servants. They also believed in human sacrifice. which they thought would please their gods, which they thought their gods lived at the top of these temples. They would do their sacrifices on the top of the temples. But the Aztecs will thrive and dominate all cultures around them until the Spanish come and conquer them. There you can see an Aztec temple in the background here, and a big ceremony. So, and in summary, the lesson, after the Ice Age, cultures and civilizations developed, and the most significant ones that developed were the Olmecs, Mayans, and Aztecs. So that's where we are so far. Thank you for your attention, and I hope it was helpful.